Okay, you might hate hearing this, but caravanning and the whole van life thing, they can absolutely suck. When it comes to caravanning, having to hitch the thing up and then unhitch it when you get to wherever you're going, which in itself can take an eternity because you're towing a big heavy box, and that can cost a fortune in fuel, let alone the running costs like insurance and wear and tear and maintenance, not to mention all of the accessories that you apparently have to buy to make caravanning tolerable. And then with the whole van life thing, having to share a public toilet and shower with God knows who, well, that's no fun. And like, yeah, sure, the whole caravanning and van life world, that might make sense for a select few out there, but we think there's a much smarter option, and it's this, a motorhome. But the thing is, like most things in life, not all motorhomes are built equally. So how about we take you through what it's like to live with, drive, and show you everything that you need to know when it comes to an Emu RV. First of all, while Emu RV base their motorhomes on the Series 9 Fiat Ducato platform, in Europe, these will soon be selling as the Toyota Pro Ace Max, as the Japanese company renowned for reliability seem happy enough with the Ducato to use as the basis for their first foray into the large commercial van segment in Europe. Plus, there are various seating and interior configurations, but we'll get to all this when we explore more inside. Engine-wise, it's running a 2.2 litre turbo diesel, sending power via the renowned 9-speed ZF Auto. And this engine and physical size combination means not only is the real-world fuel consumption excellent, you're looking at around 7 to 8 litres per 100 kilometres, you can also drive these with a normal car licence. Plus, when it comes to toll roads, these are charged at the same rate as a normal car. And then when it comes to trim specs and options, if you feel like getting off the beaten track, you could opt for something like this, which is the all-terrain pack. And then there are all of the optional extras like the magnetic fly screens for the larger door openings. However, there might be a bit of an issue with the exterior, and that's when it comes to looks. See, if you compare one of these next to, say, a fully kitted out Nissan Patrol or Toyota Land Cruiser towing some enormous caravan, this might not stroke your ego quite as much as they do. Although in saying that, I personally think that the all-terrain pack really toughens up the aesthetics quite a bit. Plus, another positive of a motorhome over a caravan is that there's none of the annoyance of having to back the thing in and disconnect the brakes and unhitch it and then work out where you're going to park the tow vehicle. We pulled up here and set all this up in honestly about 60 seconds. Although this does raise another issue, which is you're not going to be able to show off your amazing reversing skills backing a caravan into a tiny little place. Although just think of the time you're going to save. As appealing as that all is, it's actually not the best bit. For that, we've got to head inside. Okay, when we agreed to do this video, I was expecting to be impressed with these interiors, but honestly, there is so much amazing stuff going on in here. It is crazy. You ready? Here we go. First of all, there are multiple configurations for seating. 2, 3, or 4 passengers are all possible. Plus, there's the Z4S that, thanks to its pop top, can seat and sleep 4 people. And then we have all of the features. How about we start with the bedroom/dining lounging area? The seats are a synthetic leather because apparently it's more resilient than normal leather and it's stain resistant. The glass is double glazed and the walls are insulated, so unless you open the windows or the rear doors, you won't be able to listen in on your neighbours' arguments. The bedding can be configured in multiple ways, 2 single beds or a double, which is long and wide enough to sleep in full starfish mode. Plus, for even more comfort, you can add an actual mattress. Plus, you can leave the bed set up in this configuration and still have your chairs and dining table set up. The windows have fly screens and blackout blinds, so I'm sorry, your neighbours aren't going to be able to watch you get changed. Plus, there's gas heating under here, reverse cycle air conditioning and heating there, and gas and electric hot water for the bathroom. Yes, it has a bathroom. And then you've got all of the storage. First of all, storage under here, which is also accessible from here, but check this out, gas strut so you don't guillotine your hand off, and you can access it from there as well. Obviously the same on this side. Then you've got storage up here, but check this out, soft close hinges. How good is that? Plus there's a smart TV that you can swivel to pretty much any position you want, and there are mains and USB charging ports everywhere. Here and here, here and here, and here, and here, and here, and here, and more up here. And even a tiny little USB up here. And then we come to the bathroom that has an extra wide door frame, because how annoying is it when you've got to try to squish yourself into a tiny door? Plus, I'm 6'2" and I fit in here no dramas whatsoever. The whole thing is sealed. I love the black tapware, and check this out. A porcelain toilet, not a plastic one, because your bum deserves nice things. And then we come to the kitchen, starting with the 175 litre fridge and freezer. This is the biggest fridge available in a motorhome this size. Plus you get a microwave and even more storage. So much storage. And then on this side of the kitchen, you've got a flip up extra bit of bench space here, and then in the extra deep sink, you've got a drip tray here, an extra cutting board, you've got a drying rack just there, an extra container for the grey water, and the sink. You've also got a range hood here, which is ducted to the outside, and then this offers both filtered and tap water, and then here's your 3-burner gas stove. And then there are all the small details, like the drawer handles being flush, plus the runners are metal, and they're soft closing. And then the tiny little details, like the fact that these corners are rounded off, so you're not going to hurt yourself when you bang your leg. And then when it comes to the tech stuff, there's an app you can get for your phone that not only controls the lighting, but it'll tell you what battery and water levels you have. How good is that? Plus, thanks to the solar panels on the roof and the high capacity battery, it means that off-grid living is an absolute breeze, and it massively decreases your dependency on external power. And then when it comes to accommodation up front, these seats are so comfortable. I especially love the pull-down armrest. Obviously you can spin them around so you can face your occupants, and then when you are actually in the driving position, all of the ergonomics are just spot on. Also, it's important to remember that this generation of Ducato has been improved constantly since the early 2000s, so you'd like to think that they've got all the things like ergonomics and quality and resilience sorted out by now. Probably why Toyota are happy to slap their badge on it. And then as far as practicality up front goes, you've got to remember this is built on a work van, so there are cubby holes and storage bits everywhere. So you've got glove box here, you've got another storage bin up here which is also refrigerated, storage here, storage sort of for your phone, your phone fits there, got a cup holder here, 2 cup holders here, spot for your phone here, or maybe a spot for your phone just there, almost a bookshelf here. Then you've got so much storage in the doors, storage here, massive door bins, storage here, it never ends, there's just so much storage. Plus, being a current model car, it comes with Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, a reversing camera, parking sensors, loads of other tech. Most importantly, the full suite of safety features. We're talking traction and stability control, rollover mitigation, adaptive cruise control, advanced brake control, driver and passenger airbags, ABS, auto headlights, rain sensing wipers. The list just goes on and on. Okay, now that we're up the front, what is this thing like to drive? You know what? I thought at best it might feel a bit like driving a bus, and at worst might be intimidating, but it honestly doesn't. It feels like driving a decently sized SUV. Judging the parameters and parking it and dealing with traffic is just a breeze. Even things that can be intimidating if you're driving a small van or a car and caravan combination, like driving on the freeway and a truck overtakes you and it buffets all over the place, this doesn't do. And then when it comes to real world obstacles like small roundabouts and tight car parks, because it's only 6 meters long and the turning circle is excellent for a van and you've got cameras and sensors, none of that stuff's an issue. Again, another reason that this wins for me over a caravan is just the ease of use. And then there's the financial advantages. For example, a caravan and a tow vehicle, those things can eat up 20 to 30 litres of fuel per 100 kilometres. These can get 7 to 8 litres per 100 Ks. And that also doesn't take into account the cost of consumables like tyres and brakes, let alone the insurance and registration costs of both a tow vehicle and a caravan. This is just one vehicle. And look, I know this probably seems stupid talking performance credentials when we're driving a van, but this thing actually accelerates pretty decently compared to, again, a caravan and tow vehicle, which is as slow as a wet, unless you're driving something incredibly powerful that then drinks all of the fuel. This thing actually gets along pretty well. That means less time spent listening to your kids argue and complain and asking stupid questions. But what if you're the sort of person that likes to set up your van and just leave it and go driving the tow vehicle around to explore places? Well, thanks to this thing having a towing capacity of 2.5 tons, that's more than enough to tow a used small Suzuki Grand Vitara as your exploration vehicle. Really, about the only negative I can find with driving this is that it can be a little bit noisy back there, but even that's easily fixed. Just add some foam in the drawers and you'll be sweet. And then when it comes to price, you're going to be looking at anywhere from about $150,000 to $180,000. But when you compare that to a caravan that offers this level of features and a tow vehicle that can handle that sort of weight, Compare to that combination with this, you could be potentially saving thousands and thousands of dollars. Even if you add the option of including a second-hand Suzuki Grand Vitara to tow all over the countryside, we're confident this thing makes way more financial sense. Plus, the used market is showing that motorhomes like this retain their value really, really well. And yeah, sure, you could pick up something like a Hyundai iLoad or a Toyota Hiace for less than this if you'd prefer to van life it all over the country. But again, that is a hell of a lifestyle commitment. And remember, that means you could be sharing a shower or a toilet with God knows who. And look, as we said at the start, caravanning and the whole van life thing, that can make sense for a lot of people. But for us, when it comes down to convenience, value for money, and just the logical way to explore Australia, this is the answer.